not a
Should have gone
spectator
through
sport, so join me each and every weekday
all right,
right
I
here
just
on
hit the
Civic
Murphy
Media
one.
for the Tom Harbin program from 11 a.m.
And
to 2 p.m.
now I'm sending
Covering
you the Freilich one.
I just turned that off because
Yeah,
we're
that's
starting
fine.
in 30 seconds.
All right, thank you. All right, you should have both of those now.
Yes. All right. 15 seconds.
All right, thank you.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, on the board. It is Monday. Back to work. Back to school. Yes, September and fall is upon us. A little earth, wind, and fire to start us off on a September 22nd, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody, to the world headquarters of Civic Media downtown Madison at the intersection of State and Fairchild. Crystal blue skies right now over Madison. The sun is out. It's a fall day. Zommers, earth, wind, and fire after September 21st. It's September 20th. Fall is upon us, Zommers.
Yes, it is. And, we missed it by that much because
Yes.
yesterday was the 21st. But, it says the 21st night of September.
Exactly.
So it still
was
works.
the 9th of September. I love me a little earth, wind, and fire.
Oh, yeah. You can't go wrong.
You cannot go wrong at all. Welcome into fall, and it's upon us. Busy one, busy day ahead. Cannot wait. Great things. There's going to be a costume change, by the way, today at halftime during the show, because I'm going to change in from my Brewers polo shirt, going to get to that in a second, into my Packer polo shirt. I know. We heard our great sports reporter, Mike Clemens, talk about it. Packers, ridiculous loss yesterday at the end of the game, 13-10 to Joe Thomas's Cleveland Browns. I know who's happy about this. Joe Thomas.
I'm sure he is. And, but see, here's the thing. Todd's no fair weather fan.
No, I'm no fair weather fan. That's right. And what better balm to put on our Packer loss wounds than a brand new film from our friends Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone Berry, two of the great producers of the film Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, exclusively on our show, and we appreciate it when that happens. Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone Berry are going to be here live in hour number 2 at 3:35, giving us the details on their new film called No Packers, No Life.
You're going to want to be here for this. I've seen some stuff from it. It's very exciting.
Sean and I met. He was in town this weekend, was filming some stuff this weekend, and we met up for coffee. And he showed me under threats of non-disclosure agreements and castration. He showed me the trailer, and he said, "No, you can't talk about this until next Monday." And I didn't. I didn't even tell Zommers exactly what it was about.
I can confirm.
Yeah. But I've seen the trailer. It's fantastic. It's about a group of Japanese Packer fans in Tokyo who end up, and they'll explain how and why, come to Green Bay for the first time and discover the magic that is Green Bay and Lambeau Field. And to Zommers' point, I know, a little heartburn after the Packers loss, but this will make you feel better and remind us all why we're Packer fans. So looking forward to that. And speaking of that team in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in hour number 2, we are going to launch this fall's rendition of our Fall Sizzle Savor trivia text to win contest.
Otherwise known as Civic Media's Go for the Green and Gold text to win contest.
That too. Yes. The Go for the Green and Gold text to win contest. So get your texting fingers ready. And here's what you do. You download the Civic Media app on your Android or Apple device. Go to the search engine, type in Civic, C-I-V-I-C, Media. It'll pop up. You click on the CM logo. It takes less than a minute. It's free. And open it up. We're on the first 10 stations. And an hour from now, I'm going to give you the magic word for the 3 o'clock hour, and you text that word in. And the grand prize, beautiful clubbish level seats at a major stadium in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which hosts a professional football team whose colors are green and gold. How'd I do?
You got it. You got it. And Minnesota's team will be here.
And Minnesota's team will be here as well. Now, listeners of the show know that last year I flubbed this up because it's very specific, and they're dead serious about this. The attorneys on the 12th floor are listening and watching with prying eyes. Because, first of all, unlike other contests, this one is there used to be a statewide contest. Now, we're a multi-state contest. And let me tell you, I experimented with some multi-state contests back in college and realized that wasn't for me. So this is a multi-state contest. But we're not allowed to say the name of the team, the franchises, the league in which they play, name the location, the specific field or stadium in which they play. So we have to use all these things like green and gold, a football team, a professional team in Green Bay. And for every time I mess it up, I get dinged. I get fined at the Civic Media fine jar.
And these fines are not insignificant.
No, they're not. As in unemployment. So the text to win green and gold contest, we'll see how long I can maintain my, whatever you want to call it, getting it right. We'll
text in to save Todd's job.
And by the way, as we like to say, there are more text to win contest winners that come from the Civic Media's Todd Allbaugh show than any other Civic Media text to win program.
Many people are saying.
Many people are saying. So that'll be a lot of fun. And at the bottom of this hour, Natalie Yar of Wisconsin Watch will be here to talk about Wisconsin College's vow to keep supporting Hispanic students despite federal cuts. Want to start with the crew, back-to-back-to-back National League Central Division champions. Murph and the boys got it done yesterday. Well, kind of, sort of. They actually lost the game in St. Louis. Weird game yesterday. But the Cubs lost to the Reds, and that clinched it for the Milwaukee Brewers. They got to celebrate down there at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. It was a orgasmic champagne jubilee in the locker room. Let me tell you, it was fantastic to watch. Here's manager Pat Murphy after the clinch.
Like I've always said, it's about the who that's in the room. And these are the right guys. They know how to play. They know how to win. They know how to bounce back. That's what's special.
Well, Yelly's been in the middle of all of that since 2018. You think about Yelly, Woody, Freddie, what they've done to establish excellence and the level of competition that you demand.
Yelly brings that standard of how to play the game. He understands the little things. This team does the little things. And Yelly's the one that sets that tone. He means the world to this team, way beyond the numbers.
Manager Pat Murphy, after the Brewers got the clinch via the Cubs loss yesterday, they are now the National League Central Division champions. Sal Freelake, my favorite Brewer, was interviewed after the game in the locker room, drenched in champagne. Here's what Sal had to say on the culture of this team.
Sal, this is 3 years, 3 playoffs, 3 division championships for you. Just when you look back at maybe the through lines of the themes of these teams, what allows you guys to do this year after year?
I think it's just the culture. I think they built something really special here, and we have a really good group of players, and that's all credit to the front office, Murph, getting the right guys in here and putting this uniform on. And yeah, it's really just the culture, and we show up every spring training with the goal of winning the division. So it's been great. Fortunate that I've been able to do it every year.
Yelly, I know, reminded you guys this isn't guaranteed, it's not routine. How do you keep it from feeling like, we do this every year?
Yeah, I mean, Yelly, like you said, he reminds us every year that guys go their whole careers without ever getting to spray champagne. And I've been here this is my third year, and I've done it 3 times. And he just keeps saying to us young guys, just know how lucky you are. Make sure you're aware of what it takes to win, and never forget that feeling. I think that's just important to reiterate that.
Sal, where was your belief level at in May 24th?
Yeah, I mean, right where it should be. I mean, I know we started off slow and whatnot, but the season's so long and so much can happen, and that's what baseball is, that no one ever kind of strayed from that goal, even after the first weekend, the first month, whatever it might be. So we always knew we'd probably end up here.
You talked a lot about the winning culture. When you talk about how much does Pat Murphy kind of cultivate?
Yeah, I mean, we got the right guy, and he's someone who just encapsulates that and reminds us every day when we're not doing the things we need to do, just to get us back on track. And without him, this whole entire year, I don't think we would have gotten back on track. So all the credit to him.
That is Sal Frelick of the Brewers, of the culture of Pat Murphy. Going to hear later in the show, we have time from Pat. There was a great special. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I saw excerpts of a great special on the Major League Baseball Network last night with the great Bob Costas sitting down with Murph, talking about, and the fact that he picks on Frelick so much. He goes, I don't say that much nice about him, but you can clearly tell that if Frelick isn't Murph's favorite player, it's one of the top 3 or 4. Because he called Frelick the it factor. Says he's got the it factor. He does everything that he wants him to do. I'm so happy for these guys. I'm so ecstatic about this run. Some really rough news yesterday for the Brewers, and we don't know the whole thing, so we want to be very careful about this. But Brandon Woodruff, great pitcher starter for Milwaukee, apparently had some sort of a he didn't re-injure the arm, the shoulder he had surgery on, but it's a muscle or a tendon around that got tweaked, and very concerning. He's on the 15-day IL. Keyword may be done for the regular season. We'll see, but that could give the Brewers some pitcher problems down the stretch, which they don't need. But let's just focus on what they've done. Back to back NL division champions. Fantastic. They're back underway tonight in San Diego, 8:05 for the pregame show, late one on the West Coast. First pitch just after 8:30. The Crew taking on the San Diego Padres, which they could see potentially in the playoffs. Don't forget the Brewers, although they clinched the National League, they're still trying to get the number 1 seed in the National League. They clinched the NL Central, I should say. Trying to get the NL and Major League Baseball number 1 seed, which they would give them home field advantage throughout the playoffs, including the World Series. The magic number to secure that now at 4 games. There are 6 games left in the regular season. Exciting times indeed. Also, by the way, the big sports weekend, for better or worse. Badger football team basically had a must-win at Camp Randall, as Clemens reported, a loss to Maryland.
It was rough.
27-10. And fans were chanting the student section by the third quarter, fire, Fickle. I mean, it was audible over television. And now you got Chris McIntosh, the AD, coming out, giving him a vote of confidence. Be careful, Mac. It's the same thing he did to Paul Christ 2 weeks before he fired him. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show. But when we come back, a Republican candidate for governor has found himself in some trouble. Will, I love it when hypocrisy happens to my former party. We've got the sultry details on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's the Allbaugh Show for a fall September Monday on the Civic Media Radio Network.
People who mute their TVs. 92.7 WMDX.
Come in with that other song?
There's nothing quite
Yes,
like
yes,
the
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Absolutely.
Allure Intimate Apparel, that's exactly what they deliver.
Editor
Their
said this
expert
morning,
team
the
offers
show
one-on-one
recently
bra
had the
fittings in a
most text to
graceful,
entries.
no-pressure environment that celebrates every
The Herschel
silhouette.
recently had.
It's
That
luxury
is
tailored
that
to
is
real
true,
life,
but
where
I'm talking about
confidence is
actual
never
winners.
compromised.
She did beat us
Experience
once.
a new standard of personal
Jane did.
attention with tiny
I'm talking
style
about actual
and a
winners.
fit that flatters at
Yeah,
every
Carmelo, let us know if you can hear us right now. I don't know how you're watching. If not, we'll have to address your text later. I'll talk about the fake news.
It's a message delivered to the people. In this instance, through your radio
And yes,
speakers, into your ears,
for those of you who may be wondering, the contests happen in the odd hours. We did not yet give out the word.
No, the word has not been given. Stay tuned.
Just email sales@wmdxradio.com and let our crack sales team show you how to make your business grow with the #1 medium known to humankind, the radio commercial.
Coming up next.
Streaming TV is where it's at. It's not about cutting the cord anymore. It's all about your customized TV options. With the best and cheapest high-speed internet and your own TV subscriptions, we've got your dream TV lineup. Between wired and satellite internet
I saw
and TV,
that No Packers No Life trailer, and at first I thought that was like Paul. I'm like, oh my God, people are early again. I'm like, no, actually, it's just a movie. It's just a film.
800-217-9129.
Yeah, it's just the trailer that we have for later. We have the movie poster. Now I just have to click on the right thing when we do what's worse and not put up the movie poster. No, it'll be fine.
New clothing and accessories, home goods, toys, furniture, and a whole lot more. All proceeds from the Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores support the comfort and care of animals in
About
need
30
across
seconds.
the county. Visit giveshelter.org.
I'm making the decision to put this song into the podcast.
Okay, very good. I like that.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Where the kisses are hers and his, three's company too. Come and dance on our floor.
That's right.
Take a step that is new.
Classic television show, Three's Company. It turns out Three's Company, thruples, and the like, also not good if you're running for Wisconsin governor. I love every part of this story by Daniel Bice in today's Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And I'll tell you why. As a former Republican who left the party in 2011, my former party is famous, and not just in Republican conservative politics, but also some particularly fundamentalist MAGA churches, mega church type people. They say one thing in public, and it's not just they say it, they harp on it. They demonize. They say if you're whatever you are, if you have a certain sexuality, a certain sexual preference, you're a deviant, terrible person, you're going to hell. And then it turns out they're doing the same damn thing behind closed doors. And I love it when they get called on the carpet for it. And this isn't about, in my opinion, look, as long as people are of age and it's a legal practice, live and let live, baby. That's where I'm at. Have fun with life. But here's the headline. GOP governor candidate Bill Berrien scrubs link to sexually explicit social media accounts. From Daniel Bice of the Journal-Sentinel, as a Republican running for governor, Whitefish Bay businessman Bill Berrien is campaigning as a conservative leader who stands up for family values. Berrien, CEO of Pindle Global Precision, is especially critical of transgender individuals, saying they are engaged in, quote, radical social experimentation, unquote. Quote, take it from a dad and a coach. I will keep boys out of keep boys out of our daughters' sports and locker rooms, unquote, Berrien said in a recent TV ad The new ad praises President Donald Trump for, quote, protecting our daughter's sports, unquote. But Berrien's online footprint tells a very different story, one that he quietly tried to hide and erase in recent days. On Medium.com, and apparently this is I never heard of it until this story. And you, Zommers, you're more in tune person. Medium.com. I guess it's an old platform like precursor to whatever, Facebook.
Yeah, I know
or
it exists, but
Substack
I never really
or
used
whatever.
it.
Yeah. It says it's similar to Substack. Berrien, who's age 56, had an account that was following a transgender porn star named, quote, Jiz Lee, and several other authors of sexually explicit essays, unquote. Now, when you follow someone on social media, it means to subscribe to their account and their posts show up in your personal feed. Other writers that the Republican was following include Octavio Morrison, author of, quote, 7 Types of Orgasmic Sensations, unquote, and, quote, 3 Terrible Reasons to Have a Threesome, unquote. And Emma Austin, who calls herself, quote, a wholesome perv with a touch of whimsy, unquote, who has posted such items as, quote, I love getting jackhammered, unquote. Vice writes, not your typical Men's Health magazine headlines. I encourage you to go on and read this.
It is a fascinating article.
It's a fascinating story. One of the articles that Berrien is still following as of September 16th, the Sexography blog, are 2 individual accounts with sexually provocative content called the 9 types of couples who you want to have a threesome with, and 3 parts of transformative orgasmic pleasure, unquote. Here's the reason I'm laughing. Because, you guys, remember it was the Republicans who went apoplectic a block away from where I'm sitting when Joe Gow and his wife, the chancellor at UW La Crosse, in their own personal time, in their own personal account, had a adult film cooking show where they got frisky with another woman. And these Republicans went apoplectic. Oh, my gosh, we can't have this. Somebody just quoted it. Maybe Berrien was just doing research. They say.
This is horrible that this is happening. Please give me the link right now so I know to never go there.
And you get people like Berrien who attack the most vulnerable of our friends, neighbors, and family. And yet this guy is clearly, people forget that stuff lives out there forever. And by the way, he's not denying it, Berrien. His latest post today, I won't read the whole thing, says, is this the best they could do just days after I promised to stand with President Trump to protect our state, stop the woke indoctrination, and keep boys out of girls' sports? They come after me with some failed attacks they tried with President Trump. He's not denying it. In fact, his staff basically confirmed it and said, yeah, it was him that went in there. But now they're saying it's an unfair attack. You know, Trump got attacked for the Epstein files. Trump hasn't even admitted that. Berrien is at least admitting that he's on. And as I say, live and let live, baby. By the way, at the Charlie Kirk funeral down in Arizona, Phoenix, Grindr, online, Grindr got a huge amount, like a record number of, hey, this isn't working type of stuff. Same thing that happened at a Republican National Convention down in Milwaukee last year. Remember our old friend Kristen Bry and I got it. And yes, I'm on Grindr. I'm a single gay man, and it's a quote unquote dating app. By the way, my longest dating relationship did come from Grindr.
Well, good. That doesn't always happen on that app, so I'm glad to hear it.
Let's be honest, it's also a hookup app. Right?
That's the primary function as far as I'm aware.
And just be yourself and be open about it. Don't attack other people for who they are and the legal things they enjoy, and then do the same thing behind closed doors. Jeff Perry says, I think maybe Berrien has been spending too much time at the Regal Beagle, keeping up with the Three's Company theme. Come on back. We'll talk to Wisconsin Watch after this on the 3Z Civic Media Radio Network.
the station your car presets warned you about.
That was
listening
fun.
to
That was
92.7
fantastic.
WMDX, Madison's home for the Todd Allbaugh Show, weekday afternoons from 2 to 4.
Had an exceptional year for cool season perennial grasses due to plenty of rainfall timed during the summer slump. I'm Stephanie Hoff along with you for the Midwest Farm Report, and we're going to be talking with some pasture experts after this.
From sugar beet fields to dairy facilities, producers count on an operating line of credit from Ag Country Farm Credit Services to help make their operations more profitable. With multi-year commitment options, digital tools and remote deposit, and the ability to only borrow what you need when you need it, our operating line of credit makes financing your needs easier. Visit agcountry.com/line of credit or call 800-450-9858 to learn more. Terms apply. See website for details.
Jason Cavadini joins us. He's a grazing outreach specialist with the Division of Extension. He says this year has offered some of the best forage growth he's seen in a decade. Even more good news, September and October tend to be the best parts of the pasture's growing season.
It's just been an exceptional year for cool season perennial grasses. There's multiple reasons for that.
That's very good, Jeff.
Plenty of rainfall.
Spending too much time
kind of been
at the Regal Beagle.
So, typically we think of cool season grasses,
That is
especially
fantastic.
as we hear this term summer slump. This year that was timed up with plenty of rainfall, and so the
Hey, Todd.
summer slump was pretty minor.
Extension grazing specialist Jason Cavadini says it's crucial to keep grasses and
Don't know
legumes
if that's
in a
still-
leafy growing
That's
state, and that
fantastic.
means managing mature growth carefully. You can find the full interview at MidwestFarmReport.com. I've got more agribusiness news.
Here's what
coming your
happens
way.
during the commercial break.
From sugar beet fields to dairy facilities, producers count on an operating line of credit from Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
Have we
to
alerted
help
the
make
proper
their
people?
operations more
Yes. All right,
profitable.
very good.
With multi-year commitment options, digital tools and remote deposit, and the ability to only borrow what you need when you need it, our operating line of credit makes financing your needs easier. Visit agcountry.com/line of credit or call 800-450-9858 to learn more. Terms apply. See website for details.
Here at the Midwest Farm Report, we're always tuned in to what you're listening to. If you missed a big story, don't worry, we've got your back. Here are the top 5 most listened to stories from this past week. At number 5, from $5 to 35,000 mums, the blooming success of Honeymoon Acres. At number 4, tips and tricks to keep
I was thinking maybe he was spending too much time down with Mr. Farley,
a new bill
Jeff.
aims to help beginning farmers find land. At number 2, cattle producers are urging folks to speak up against a proposed fee hike. And the number 1 most listened to story of the week, livestock markets also push back against what they're calling an excessive fee increase. Stick with us for more of the
That's
stories that
fantastic.
matter most right here on
You ever
the
see that show
Midwest
like on
Farm
Nick at
Report.
Night or
I'm
anything,
Stephanie
Sommers?
Hawk.
No, not really.
92.7 WMDX,
Dial it up.
Madison's real news and great
I'll have to.
conversation, and home to the Todd Allbaugh Show. Monday
It's
through
about,
Friday
it's
from
the
2 to
premise
4.
is, this is back in the,
Showers
what,
and
Jeff, 80s
thunderstorms
probably,
on
right?
and off today.
Late
Could be
70s, early
times
80s.
We could get some heavy rainfall and localized flash
So you
flooding.
had
Also,
Suzanne
winds,
Summers, the
small
hot
haze,
blonde
and out of
bombshell,
Washington. Rounds
and I
of rain
forget the
continue this
brunette,
afternoon,
Jeff, correct
even
me,
into
I
this
can't remember her
evening.
name,
Scattered
and these
showers
two
spin
girls,
around tomorrow,
and
too.
and
I'm
then they
Meredith,
shared
pretty remote
a
right
a
now.
2-bedroom
75
apartment
degrees.
with this guy
John
Jack.
Gordy
Remember, this
Show.
is late
Pam
70s, early
Yankee. Good
80s,
morning,
and so it was
Pam. How are you?
taboo
Very fine,
for
fellas. Normally, the Department of
two
Agriculture in
unmarried,
Madison is
or,
kinda
you know,
open
two,
ears, but
thanks,
man,
Joyce
I am
DeWitt,
getting,
thank you, Jeff, was
even
the
they're
brunette,
giving me pushback,
and then
and
you
that-
had
that
John
frankly,
Ripper,
boy,
or
just
John
doesn't
Ripper,
happen to me
John
anymore
Ritter.
these days.
What's
Where
wrong
you're-
with me?
what do you mean you're not
John
gonna talk to
Ritter
me?
playing
Really?
Jack
You got me to
Tripper.
talk to.
Weekday morning, 6 to 8
And
on 92.7
he was a
WMDX
restaurateur.
and the Civic
Anyway,
Media
so
app.
in order to get the apartment, the three of them to save money, they told
Nightlight with
the
Mutual
landlords
Allbaugh.
that
My
Jack was
problem
gay.
is I don't ever eat fish fries.
And so that was the
So I do
ongoing
it,
joke
overdo it.
but he was a
I go to large
womanizer.
perch. I
You know, he
hate
played,
everything in my
he had all these
plate. I feel like
girlfriends.
I wanted to
But
die.
whenever the
And then
landlords
I
were
had a
around,
fishy
the
guy.
Ropers
I
and later
know it's
Mr.
just different
Farley,
to get bread and
the whole
fish.
thing was, well, no, it's fine because Jack is gay.
Well, of course, yes. All right, about 25 seconds.
All right. wherever it may lead, and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Now 35 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock on a Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Glad to have you along. Gotten a couple of texts, calls, whatnot on the signal on AUK down in beautiful Milwaukee. We're upgrading the signal. That's the great news. There may be some funky gremlins going on, so bear with us. We're on it. Our great engineering team is on it like stink on a monkey, as Kramer once said in Seinfeld. You ever see that episode, Sommers?
Not that one.
All right. He was delivering, he and Newman had a scam on bottles or cans or like recycling. He goes, I'm on it, Jerry, like stink on a monkey. Anyway, so our great engineering team is indeed on it. By the way, got some a couple of texts. I said, what is this contest you're talking about? Because it's the lawyers. You understand? I can't say when it comes to our green and gold for the green and gold text to win contest. But just think about it, guys. What sports team in Wisconsin is referred to as the green and gold? All right? It's tickets for a game for that team and the team over in Minnesota that goes around wearing little horn hats all the time.
And that will be next hour.
That'll be next hour. We have not given you the word yet, so stand by. Don't go anywhere. We'll give you the word very shortly. And by the way, we're giving away cash prizes, cold hard cash, and gold jewelry. It's a prize Lollapalooza, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for that. All right. Let's turn to more serious issues of the day here at 36 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. Our friends over at Wisconsin Watch, you always do a great job. Headline, Wisconsin colleges vow to keep supporting Hispanic students despite federal funding cuts. Joining us via StreamYard from Wisconsin Watch, Natalie Yar. Natalie, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Whenever someone comes on the show for the first time, we always like to ask to have you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, how you got into the journalism field, and ended up at Wisconsin Watch.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. I grew up in Southern California in Irvine, and my mom is from Wisconsin originally, and I came back here several years ago, and I spent several years working at the Cap Times, and recently moved to Wisconsin Watch, where I report on pathways to success. We think of that as being basically about jobs and job training and how people get into family sustaining work and what's sometimes keeping people from doing that.
That's fantastic. We appreciate you joining us. Anybody who watches or listens to this show knows I'm passionate about education in this state, particularly higher education as well. One of the things I think that gets lost, we always like to take these federal issues and say, how does it apply to Wisconsin? Your reporting does just exactly that. It talks about Wisconsin colleges, but a growing segment of Wisconsinites are Hispanic. Either their mom or dad might have been, or both parents, what have you. And it can be tougher. Oftentimes, people from minority families come from lower social economic backgrounds. It's tougher to pay for college, tougher to get in, tougher to have access. And now with federal cuts in D.C., people are wondering what the heck is going on here. Tell us the premise of your story and how you came to report this.
Yes. So indeed, what you said, Hispanic students are, I believe, the fastest growing population of college students in the country. And there was already a lawsuit that started a few months back about the question of whether Hispanic serving institutions were constitutional or not, whether they were violating the Constitution. And to rewind a step, there is a thing called, quote unquote, Hispanic serving institutions that is a category for colleges and universities in the U.S. that have at least 25% of their full-time undergrad student body being Hispanic. And that category was created by the federal government about 30 years ago, and institutions that meet that criteria are eligible to apply for what is now millions of dollars in grants each year That doesn't mean that they get it, but they can apply for those funds to do various different things to improve their schools, from supporting teaching, supporting building, like creating new buildings, to other forms of student support. Those exist. There's a special category of grants that this year was slated to be, I don't want to get the number wrong. I won't say that, but there was a lawsuit filed this summer that aimed to take that on, filed by the same group that took on affirmative action in previous cases, and led to that Supreme Court ruling that essentially overturned affirmative action in college admissions. That lawsuit was already pending, and the federal government had announced that it was not planning to defend the Hispanic Serving Institutions program in court. So that already wasn't looking good for Hispanic serving institutions. And I was already working on a story about how would that affect Wisconsin, where we have 4 of these institutions. And then a few days ago, the federal government announced that it was indeed cutting that grant program and other grants for other types of quote unquote minority serving institutions. So that is how the story came about.
We are talking with Natalie Yar. She is from Wisconsin Watch. You can find this work and everything else at wisconsinwatch.org. That's wisconsinwatch.org. I appreciate the reporting because even as someone who thinks I follow higher ed in this state, I was unaware of this. And correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard of the HBUs, particularly in southern United States, that make sure they carve out niches for Black African Americans in this country. Is it similar to that, only with Hispanics in this country? And is this something that is all across the U.S.? Obviously, it's a federal fund. It must be. I just never heard of, because in your story, I was taken by the fact that you call out Alverno College, Herzing University, Gateway Technical College, and Mount Mary University here in Wisconsin. I've heard of those, but I'm like, well, why doesn't this apply to the old Wisconsin system of public universities? What's unique about this program, and why are they more focused on private universities?
Yes. So the program is not specifically about private universities. Yes, they exist throughout the country. There are about 600 schools that currently have this designation across the U.S., and many of them are public universities. Or community colleges, or all sorts of different. Gateway Technical College is a public technical college here in Wisconsin. So first of all, are they similar to the HBCUs? I'm not an expert on HBCUs. I will say, like, in some ways, yes, but also it's quite a different thing. By my understanding, HBCUs and also the tribal colleges are both very specific designations that I think are somewhat historical. The HBCUs being historically Black colleges and universities. I believe that they had to have been started before 1964, and that this was about schools that were created to serve populations that were not accepted at other schools, or were not being served at other schools. And this is a broader type of category that the Hispanic serving institutions, and there are others in this minority serving institutions category. So the HBCUs and the tribal colleges, to be clear, are not part of this minority serving institutions category that was cut by the federal government. They were kind of exempted, I think, in part because of their historical role, and maybe there was also some political motivations there. This designation is instead just for, as far as I know, any college or university that meets a certain enrollment threshold as far as their student body has, for example, in this case, there's 25% Hispanic, can apply to have this designation. And the reason that other Wisconsin schools aren't in this boat, by my understanding, is simply that they don't have enough Hispanic students yet to fall in this category. And so these schools do not have anything about like their founding that was for Hispanic students or anything like that. It's just that these schools are acknowledging, hey, a big part of who is in our student body is Hispanic students, and they would say they want to do certain things to ensure the success of those students.
You speak with Anthony Hernandez, an education policy researcher at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, who studies Hispanic serving institutions. And you quote Professor Hernandez in here saying, quote, for the most of U.S. history, minority students were either explicitly excluded from higher education or funneled into segregated, underfunded schools, unquote. I thought that was put it well, put a point on it to what you said earlier, is that this is about integrating and learning from each other. And I've spoken to this show before as someone who grew up in a 99% white community in Southwest Wisconsin and went to UW Richland, having the Central American Scholarship Program where you had 18 fellow students from around the world who were Latino, Hispanic, who were coming there out of 350 students. It made a huge impact on my life, and it helped me grow. I got more out of it, I think, than probably what they did, and going back to the country. So I think this program benefits not just the student, but also the entire institution and everybody who's going there. Did you find that in your reporting, Natalie?
Yeah, my story doesn't necessarily get so much at that side. I mean, that's certainly one part of the argument for why these institutions should exist. Certainly what Professor Hernandez said about this is a demographic of students who often, of course that would not be always, but who often may have for one reason or another been less well served by the K-12 education system or by the college system. And therefore it could make sense to allocate additional resources to support those students in some way. So that is certainly the argument that was made for why this should be created in the first place. This program should be created in the first place. Of course, now the Trump administration is saying that these programs are inherently discriminatory and unconstitutional, and that they want to, quote, reprogram those funds. So we're talking about $350 million that was allocated to these. There's 7 different minority serving institution grant programs that were providing resources to Hispanic serving institutions, and some of the other programs were for different groups of demographics. And they want to, quote, reprogram those funds to other types of education programs that they do not consider unconstitutional. Of course, the courts have not actually made a ruling on whether they were unconstitutional or not. And making headlines like the day that my story published was the news that they were in fact allocating $495 million in one-time funds for historically Black colleges and universities, so those HBCUs, and for technical colleges and universities. So yeah, basically they moved those funds and some more for this coming year to those schools that were in a different category. Among the things that are not clear is if they do indeed succeed in cutting this funding for the future, whether those funds what will happen in the future for those funds, because this was one.
Hold that thought. We're up against the clock here, Natalie. We'll come back and talk more with Natalie Yar from Wisconsin Watch on funding Wisconsin's colleges when Hispanic student funding at the federal level is being cut. Don't go anywhere. It's a Monday edition of the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Very good. We're in break, Natalie. Just a FYI, we still stream, so I'll tell people, don't say anything you don't want on the front page of the State Journal or Wisconsin Watch, I guess they say.
Democracy Minute.
I appreciate you taking the time. We'll, about 2 minutes here, and then we'll come back and have about a 6-minute segment to finish it up.
Amounts of voter
Sound good?
registration,
Sounds good.
balloting,
Thank
and
you.
All right.
election
Thank you very much.
administration records. 2 states which refused the request, Maine and Oregon, are now being sued
Is there any
by
particular,
DOJ.
or are
The
there any
Brennan Center for
particular
Justice counts 34
points you want to make sure we
states
get
which received
out there in the
data
next
requests
segment?
from either the Civil Rights Division, formerly a watchdog for voting rights,
You know
or
what?
from
Maybe
DOJ's
kind of on the
Federal
basic
Division.
front would just be we could chat a little bit more about which Wisconsin schools are in this of those
Sure.
4 schools that you
Indiana
mentioned,
confirmed it
and
recently
also
sent
I can talk about the fact that I
information,
didn't actually
including driver's
hear back
license
from
and partial social
most of
security numbers.
them,
Maine received
so I
its
don't
first
know how
request
much
in
money is
mid-July,
actually on the
which it
line for
declined
Wisconsin.
August 8th,
Okay.
citing a lack of justification. DOJ's statement announcing the suit said,
And
quote, American citizens have a right to feel confident in the
if you don't know, that's
integrity of our
totally fine.
electoral
I'm
process
curious,
and the
like,
refusal
where
of
the
certain
funding,
states
this is
to
coming from
protect
private
citizens
endowments
against
at
vote
these private
dilution will
universities,
result in
or
legal consequences,
I mean, if it's a
unquote.
private college,
Vote
they're
dilution refers
obviously
to
not using
alleged
taxpayer
widespread
money
voting
for
by
it. But where
non-citizens,
this
an
vow to
already
keep federal
debunked
funding or keep funding
conspiracy
going,
theory from the
they're just going to
2020
get it from their
2024
endowments in
election.
private school
The Trump
cases.
administration confirmed last week it was sharing the voter data with the Department of Homeland
Yeah,
Security.
that you're right.
Secretaries of State Shanna Bellows in
I'm
Maine
happy to
and
answer
Tobias
that. I
Reed
don't
of
have
Oregon
a lot
have
of
vowed to fight the
answer.
request in court. We have
Yeah,
more
I think
I
it's
was
more.
curious.
I think it's more the spirit of it. Like,
Okay.
My name is
you
Chuck
know,
Collins. I'm the
they
great-grandson of the
intend to
matriarch Oscar Mayer,
keep the
and
work
a
going.
member of
There
the
might not
Patriotic
be.
Millionaires, a collection
I
of
think they're
wealthy
probably not
Americans
sure
who
whether
share
there
a
will be the
profound
money
concern
behind it or
about
not.
the
You know, and
dangers
that
of
really could
concentrated
affect
wealth
what
and
happens.
power in America.
Yeah.
Now, the
But
fact is,
they're not
you may
planning
not
to
care
like
how much money
renounce
another
that as part
person
of their
has,
goals or
but you
something
likely
like that.
do care how much power another person has, especially if they're using that power to rig the rules of the economy to make themselves richer and you poorer. You see, there is a point
long have you
where
been at
money
Wisconsin
is no
Watch?
longer money, it's power. And when rich people use their money to drown out the voices of
Since
everyday
March.
people, it
Oh, sweet.
threatens the
Awesome.
safety and security of us all. Patriotic millionaires don't want to live in a country with a few extremely rich people controlling everything, leaving millions of people struggling to just get by. Luckily, we have a solution. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. I'm Chuck Collins. I'm a patriotic millionaire, and I approve this message.
Get ready to go for the green and gold on this local civic media radio station.
Literally had
Listen
somebody
each weekday
text me and
for the
said, "What are you
keywords to
giving
catch
away?
for
What
your
is
chance
this?"
to win our daily prize, $200 cash
30 seconds.
and gold
Whose
jewelry.
voice
And
is
enter
this?
to win our grand prize, 2 indoor
It must
club
be our
level seats to
new-
see the green and gold
Presumably.
take on
Whatever,
Minnesota
whatever.
in Green Bay. Just
Voice of the
download our
network.
free civic media
All right,
app.
20 seconds.
All right, thank you. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 8 minutes now before the hour of 3 o'clock. Big hour number 2. Stay tuned. Not going to want to miss it. Our green and gold text to win contest. We're going to give away cash. Going to give away gold jewelry and a chance at the grand prize, which are tickets to the professional football team in Green Bay, Wisconsin that wears green and gold. So stick around for that. Also, filmmakers Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone Beery. They have brought you the film Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. They have a new film on the Packers called No Packers, No Life. So stay tuned. Going to be talking to them in hour number 2 as well. Some breaking news just coming out. We'll get to that in a moment. But right now we continue our conversation with Natalie Yar of WisconsinWatch.org. You can find her work and her fellow reporters at WisconsinWatch.org. Great publication. Wonderful story, important story on Wisconsin colleges vowing to keep supporting Hispanic students despite federal funding, supporting Hispanic students despite federal funding cuts. And Natalie, before the break, started to get into this a little bit, but expand if you can, please, on which colleges in Wisconsin are affected. And you didn't necessarily get responses from everybody you reached out to.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, as we were discussing before, these cuts will eliminate grants to 7 different will eliminate 7 different grant programs that were designed to support minority serving institutions in the U.S. and Hispanic serving institutions, which is what my story focused on, are one of those categories. In Wisconsin, that's the only relevant type that we have anyway. That's the only type of institution that was cut that exists in Wisconsin. And our 4 Hispanic serving institutions are Mount Mary University, Alverno College, Gateway Technical College, and Herzing University. Okay. And I contacted all of those schools to try to find out what they were thinking about this, what their plans were, how much funding they get through this. And the only one that I got actual answers back from was Gateway Technical College, which is the a technical college in Kenosha, they they said that they are the newest of they are the one that has most recently received this designation and thus most recently become eligible to apply for these grants. And they had applied for 2.8 million for a grant for 2.8 million, and they were waiting to hear back on whether they were going to get that grant, which I believe was going to be over a 5-year period. And then this news broke that the program was getting cut. So clearly, unless something in the courts or in Congress manages to stop that, they're not getting that 2.8 million. I have also seen reporting from last year when Herzing received this designation that they also got a grant for, I believe it was 2.7 million over 5 years. And the announcement last week that cut those grants also cut any future payments on existing grants. So if it's true that Herzing had 2.7 million allotted, then I'm guessing probably around 2 million or so hasn't come to them yet and isn't coming any longer. But I couldn't.
And we know, I know a lot of this is the spirit of this, but have we heard that the institutions that you've named all private colleges, universities? And so these aren't going to come from, this commitment to support Hispanic students despite federal cuts, not going to come from taxpayer funding. Is this coming from endowments? Is this coming from specific people giving grants, or do we know yet?
Yeah. And I should be clear also, one part we haven't talked about. So I reached out to those 4 schools asking about their plans. And like I said, all those other numbers, but I also reached out to the schools in Wisconsin. Don't have the number in front of you right now, but it's around 10 other schools. I think it's 11 schools that are quote unquote emerging Hispanic serving institutions. Now that's not a designation given by the federal government. That's given by an association of education leaders. These are schools that are trying to achieve this full-on status of Hispanic serving institutions, and Wisconsin has more of those. And I could list them all off, but I won't right now. And many of them responded to me to say, we are still trying to become Hispanic serving institutions, like meeting the full criteria for that, the 25% enrollment numbers, et cetera. Even if there's not going to be money behind it anymore. It's all very unclear whether that category will even exist in the future if the federal government no longer runs this grant program. But basically they were saying, we consider it very important to our mission and to serving our students to meet the needs of our Hispanic students. And we intend to keep doing that. And we will look for other ways to do that. We did not get into the finer details of how they would, or whether they'll be able to make up those funds. I mean, I would guess that it's very possible that some of them intend to keep doing that work, but may not have the same resources to put behind it, at least at first.
Sure.
I think what they were trying to express is we still have the same intentions and we are not going to stop talking about our Hispanic students, or we're not, there's clearly a change in the climate also regarding higher education. And I think that, for example, when I spoke to the president of the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, MIAD, he was basically just saying, this is just part of how we serve our community well, because they were like, we are close to 20% Hispanic student body. Milwaukee is 20% Hispanic. This is what it means to do our job.
Up against the clock. Sorry about that. I got a hard break, but thank you very much, Natalie Yar at Wisconsin Watch. We appreciate you. Find her story. Everyone else's at wisconsinwatch.org. Thanks, Natalie. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Stay tuned. Your chance to win some fabulous prizes. Breaking news from television. We'll tell you what it is after this. Don't go anywhere. Hour 2 is straight ahead. All right. Thanks, Natalie. Have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.
Madison's home for real news and great conversation.
conversation. A civic media station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The White House expected to proceed
Now,
its findings
Todd
today,
initiates the
focusing on
costume
autism
change.
after
We'll take a
Health
look
Secretary
at the
Robert
street cam.
Kennedy Jr. vowed to look into root causes this year. The report expected to suggest a possible link between the use
Not to worry, he's going to the bathroom. I'm not just sitting here staring at him, but I figured you'd want something to look at, you know.
pushing back. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Scholze.
No known medical studies have proven that the use of Tylenol, known as acetaminophen, among pregnant women is a cause for autism. Some limited evidence suggested it's associated with higher rates of neurological issues, but studies have been mixed.
In Florida, Ryan Ruth, the man representing himself in the attempted assassination trial against Donald Trump last year, rested his case today. Closing arguments taking place next. The jury could get the case later this week. Volatile storms leading to flood alerts in the nation's midsection and parts of the South today. The same storm that impacted areas near Dallas last night. This is ABC News.
You're listening to 92.7 WMDX, Madison's home for the Maggie Dawn Show, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. Police say someone was attacked outside Camp Randall over the weekend, and it was totally unprovoked. It happened in the parking lot of 15 Breeds Terrace at about 2 a.m. Saturday. UW-Madison police say the victim was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. While the attack was unprovoked, police believe it was targeted. Authorities later arrested a 33-year-old man named Keith Jones and said he may have a best security uniform and radio. Jones was taken to the Dane County Jail on charges of aggravated battery, robbery, and a probation violation. And the mayor of Middleton is running for re-election. Emily Kuhn announced this morning she'll be seeking a second term. She was first elected to the post in 2023 after a career mostly in federal government. Her biggest achievements in office include keeping Thermo Fisher in Middleton when the company was being lured away by other states and hiring a new police chief and public works director. The election is in April. And it's the fall equinox today. Here's meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Today, the seasons officially shift. It's called the autumnal equinox. Right now, the Earth is perfectly tilted to give us equal hours of daylight and darkness. And I'm sure you've noticed it's darker for longer in the morning now, and the sun is setting earlier too. Shorter days happen fast. In just the month of September, we lose almost an hour and a half of daylight, which is exactly why the leaves start to change colors now too. Trees are sensitive to changes in their environment, and the sunlight triggers the tree to produce chlorophyll. That's how it makes energy and why the leaves are green, a process called photosynthesis. So in summer, we simply have more hours of sun available. Now that's being pulled away. Just like our moods may be falling with less light, foliage does too. Some spots to check out fall foliage right now: Green Bay, Medford, Spooner, and Eagle River area. I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
And I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX News.
The Brewers do it again. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers are divisional champs of the NL Central. Although they lost yesterday 5-1 to the Cards, the Reds swept the Cubs, so Milwaukee, divisional champs for a third year in a row. Manager Pat Murphy.
Well, just this team finds a way. They're resilient, and they're guys that have a special it factor.
NFL, the Packers shocked by the Browns, losing 10 on a walk-off field goal by Cleveland. Defensive end Micah Parsons.
Man, it's like a movie sometimes how football works. I just think towards the end of the game they play better than us, and we got to play all 4 quarters of football.
College football, the Badgers losing at home to Maryland Saturday, 27-10, and now headed into the bye.
We've got a challenge. I felt like the culture of this team and the things that we did in the offseason and fall camp was something that was a lot stronger than what we have had. We're going to find out how strong it is. That's where we're going to have to go, because this thing doesn't get any easier.
That's head coach Luke Fickle with Sports on Mike Clemens.
Catch
Here
Farm
we go.
Report
Giddy up.
updates throughout the day from the Midwest Farm Report, right here on 92.7 WMDX.
Showers and thunderstorms on and
By
off
the way,
today, heavy at times. We could get some heavy rainfall.
It doesn't
and
say on
localized
here.
flash flooding.
Are we giving
also high winds and small hail
cash
out of the
and
pasture.
gold?
Rounds
Yes,
of rain
it is
continue
one
this
daily
afternoon,
prize.
and even into the
Instead of
evening.
hourly
Scattered
prizes,
showers
it's
are
one daily
confused.
prize of both cash and gold
I'm
jewelry.
meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Right
So we're
now,
giving away
it's
two at
75
one
degrees.
prize and one person gets $200 cash and jewelry, or one person has cash, one person
It's
gets jewelry?
one daily prize that is both cash and jewelry.
All right, so one person's going to get $200 cash and gold jewelry.
Yes, and that is for the whole day, not per hour.
All right, and we're at the 3 o'clock hour, and it's the word that starts with S, correct?
You have help. Find free adult education
I
classes near
hope
you
so.
at
I think so.
finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy
It is,
Foundation and the Ad Council.
Oh, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio.
Yeah.
On our show, we share stories from Turtle Island, highlighting the people and issues shaping our communities. From protecting water to treaty rights and preserving languages and traditions.
We'll
we
come back.
cover it all.
I'll do
Hear
the Jimmy
voices
Kimmel
like
stuff,
Arena Martin,
and then
Merge, Wisconsin, Dr. State.
then we'll get into the green and gold.
Yeah, Terry Barr says Todd's like Superman. Did he change in the phone booth?
Yes.
Yes, it was actually in Todd's rider.
I
he had
almost
to have a
changed to
phone
the
booth
back sync
installed.
booth, but I thought, no, I don't want to,
I mean, nobody would have cared. Anyway, 15 seconds.
Thank you.
From the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. It is 6 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Welcome into hour number 2 of the program from the world headquarters of Civic Media at the crossroads of State Street and Fairchild in downtown Madison. Zommers, a beautiful sky, a few clouds here and there now above the studios in downtown Madison. Taking a look at the Sam Davidson Street Cam. Look at that, bikers going down going up and down State Street. They're actually going with the light, so that's always helpful. We don't want anybody taking out on their bike.
Uncommon.
Right. But look at that beautiful, beautiful day. Leaves just starting to turn there on State Street. You can always watch it. But you probably want to, if you have the opportunity, dial us up on YouTube. It's the Civic Media YouTube channel. And you can also watch us on Facebook at The Allbaugh Show or The Todd Allbaugh Show on Facebook. And you can also see us on the Civic Media Twitter X account as well.
And WMDX as well.
Oh, and WMDX as well. So you can dial it. You'll want to see the video version because at the bottom of this hour, our old friends from just a bit outside the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, Sean Hanisch and Paul Giacone Berry are going to be here. Only via StreamYard, but they're going to be here live. They have a brand new film out, Wisconsin sports film called No Packers, No Life. It is, I've seen the trailer. We're going to play it for you when they come on. It's fantastic. It's going to give you all the feels, just like the Brewers film did, with a twist. It's not just about Green Bay fans in Wisconsin, but halfway around the world. We'll tell you about it coming up at the bottom of the hour. No Packers, No Life. New film by Sean Hanisch and Paul Giacone Berry. Looking forward to talking with them. And coming up in a minute, your chance to win cold, hard cash, gold jewelry, and tickets to a club-level indoor seating to Green Bay versus Minnesota in a football game on the professional side in Green Bay.
That is correct.
How am I doing?
We're good. We're good.
All right. He's very nervous today. Zommers is very nervous. But first, some breaking news for you. Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to the air on ABC tomorrow night. The network announced in a statement, quote, last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation and an emotional moment for our country, unquote. A spokesperson for the Walt Disney Company, which owns ABC, said in a statement to CNN, quote, it is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday, unquote. Jimmy Kimmel Live was abruptly and indefinitely taken off the air last week after the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, and networks of affiliate stations threatened ABC over comments Kimmel made in a monologue about the MAGA movement's response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. It was really pointed at Trump himself. We played the same clip. It was a couple days after Kirk's assassination, and Trump was on the way to a helicopter, and a reporter, I think it was Fox News reporter, said, "How are you doing, Mr. President, after your friend's death?" And he has a smile on his face, and he says, "I think very well, and right over here is the new ballroom to the White House." Clearly showing this wasn't as big a deal to him as he let on. And I did not watch the whole funeral thing yesterday. I've seen a couple of clips from it. I'm not going to get into it. It's just, it was a Trump rally. That's what it was. Let's just say what it was. In any event, Kimmel is going to be back on the air tomorrow night on ABC. Going to be very interesting how this all breaks out, what the real reasons were. We had Keegan Kelly from Crack.com on last week when all this happened. And Keegan pointed out that a lot of this apparently, seemingly, had to do with the fact that just like Paramount was trying to merge with Skydance for $8 billion and needed the FCC's approval and paid Trump $16 million through a bogus lawsuit as essentially payment for that. Now Disney, trying to do a deal via Hulu and other mergers are like $6 billion worth, needs FCC approval for that. And there's a lot, I haven't even gotten to this yet. I mean, here's a Hollywood Reporter story. Ex-Disney CEO Michael Eisner weighs in on Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. Quote, "Where is all the leadership gone?" Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner appeared to take aim at Bob Iger, his hand-chosen successor at Disney, and Disney brass on Friday, as he railed against the decision to suspend Kimmel. As we said, quote, "Where has all the leadership gone? If not for university presidents, law firm managing partners, and corporate chief executives standing up against bullies, who then will step up for the First Amendment?" Unquote, Eisner wrote on a post on X on Friday. Eisner called the decision to suspend Kimmel's show, quote, "yet another example of out-of-control intimidation." He wrote the suspending indefinitely of Jimmy Kimmel's immediately after the FCC chairman's aggressive yet hollow threatening of the Disney company is yet another example of out-of-control intimidation. Maybe the Constitution should have said Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press except in one's political or financial self-interest, unquote. Eisner added, by the way, for the record, this ex-CEO finds Jimmy Kimmel very talented and funny. The words of Michael Eisner, former CEO of Disney. You're listening to the Todd Allbaugh Show, uncensored, unabashed, and not afraid to tell a joke. We work for a great company, one guy. Well, I mean, it's one owner. We're not owned by a conglomerate, and much to our owner and our COO's credit last week, they put out a statement internally that says, we're not going to censor you. You don't have to be afraid. Obviously, fact check what you're saying, but we're not playing that game, and I appreciate that very much.
Yes, yes.
So there you go. Maybe that's the sub theme to the show. Uncensored, unabashed, and not afraid to tell a joke. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show. It's 14 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Get ready. Get set. Time once again to play Civic Media's Green and Gold Text to Win contest. Let's go. I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drum all day. I don't want to play. I just want to bang on the drum all day. That's right. For the next 2 weeks, in hour number 2 of our show, the 3 o'clock hour, when you hear that music, bang on your drum all day, synonymous. That's not
synonymous.
Synonymous. Da, 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 da. It's a song known for the Green
for the Green Bay football team.
For the I almost slipped. Here now, Zomer has highlighted this on the instructions for on-air hosts. Do not say.
I highlighted and circled it.
There are several words I cannot say because the lawyers on the 12th floor will ding me. Which, by the way, I haven't been dung very often. All right, here's the news you need to know. Here's the deal. For the next 2 weeks, we're playing it on all of our talk shows. It's fantastic. Listen all day long. So every day, we're going to give you a daily prize. One person every day is going to win a daily prize. $200 of cold, hard, green cash and gold jewelry. So you get cash and jewelry.
Yeah, in the past, our conversation has been Our contest has been go for the green or gold. Yeah. Now it's go for the green and gold. You get both.
You get both. And everybody who enters is going to be put into the drawing at the end of the 2 weeks for one grand prize. For a prize for two club level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota football. Green Bay home game on November 23rd of this year at high noon. Plus, we're going to give you a gas card to get you to a game. It's a $1,550 value.
Now that's a deal.
As Gail King says. So here's how you play. If you haven't done it, download the Civic Media app. It's free, takes less than a minute. It's what Gail King calls a deal. Download the app at your favorite Apple or Android device. Now open it up. First 10 stations are the ones we're on. Pick the one closest to you, or just pick the one at the top. Quite frankly, it's no biggie to me. But open it up, and now in the lower right-hand corner, it'll say text, a little icon, bubble. It says text. All right, click on that. Now I'm going to give you a word for this hour. You have until 4 o'clock to text the following word. The word is score. The word is score. S-C-O-R-E. Score. The Packers need to score in order to win a game. Score. Did I mess it up?
Just don't worry about it.
I'm trying to use it in a sentence.
Yeah, I think that was okay.
I have a speech impediment. I try to use it in a sentence to help people understand. So it's S is in Sam, C is in card, O, R, E is in Edward. Score. The football team from Green Bay needs to score. Is that better?
Yes. And you know the best part of this contest? It's multi-state.
Thank you very much, Summers. It is a multi-state contest, which, by the way, has nothing to do with our earlier story on Bill Berrien's run for governor.
Nothing whatsoever.
The word is score. S-C-O-R-E. Text the word score right now. You have until 4 o'clock to do it. All right? And somebody at the end of the day is going to win $200 in cold hard cash. Who couldn't use that? And gold jewelry. Do we know this is real gold?
I believe so.
It is?
To my knowledge.
We've been told it's real.
Also, if you want to enter more times, of course, as Todd says, allegedly, your odds are better if you enter during this show. But
people are saying.
People are saying. But the contest runs Monday through Friday from 7 to 7. So between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., all the odd hours you can enter. So that's 7 entries a day for that daily and grand prize.
Look at that. Starts out with Kreitlow in the morning. Then we got Jane, Matt, Aaron, Greg Bach, Matt, Aaron, Air, Tom Hartman. He'll sell you some crypto and then give you a word. And then us. Does he have 2 words? 11 and 1?
I believe so, yeah. It depends on the no, that is just his show. Yeah, he gets 2 words.
2 words? They're giving Tartman 2 words?
We're going to have to keep that in mind for the results. Some distortion.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've had a friendly wager with our friend over there, Jay Matt Nair. She kicked our rear end last time around, so much so they retired her jersey. Now she's bringing us back. And then we have this internal Hartman gets two. He's selling crypto and he gets 2 words. All right, come on back. We'll talk about Luke Fickell and some other news. And the autumnal equinox. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show for a Monday. Text the word SCORE right now on the Civic Media app. Back after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
7 WMDX, a mad city state of mind.
I didn't know that.
Remodeling done well.
Until I read it out
Our
loud.
commitments
Didn't
extend
know what.
beyond our work
He gets
Oh, that
2
is
words.
too? Yeah.
Our community. We judge people by the
I didn't think about
Completely
that. So
unfair.
we're going to have to keep that in mind, and whatever his number is, cut it in half.
Exactly right.
Education, healthcare, and healthcare. But what do you believe in? At Chance Design Build, we believe every person must have the opportunity to thrive. If you're thinking about remodeling your home, go to chancedesignbuild.com to learn more about our commitment to you, your home, and our community.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk.
We going to what's worse right away, I imagine?
Oh, crap. I forgot about what's worse. See, there's too much, ladies and gentlemen. We came in today. I've got enough for another 2-hour show. I could easily do 4 hours today. I am prepared for 4 hours.
You're prepared for 4 hours.
Maybe we should just keep recording for next Tuesday, and we'll just do another 2 hours.
I mean, yeah.
The problem is some of this stuff is timely indeed.
Yeah. As Mike Lucas likes to say.
What time we come back? 23?
Yeah, a minute from now.
Oh, all right.
22:30.
Right.
Pre-registration at ALZ.
Todd's going on a mystery mission.
/walk. Madison Vegan Fest is just around the corner on October 4th.
All right, chat, sound off in the comments. What's Todd doing? No, just kidding. He's getting water. I know what it is.
Who's curious about alternatives to animal products, Madison Vegan Fest is the perfect opportunity to explore plant-based foods and learn a bit more about why folks are making the switch. From fresh food to fun goods and informed speakers, spend your Saturday exploring this fan-favorite festival. WMDX Madison is proud to be a presenting sponsor of Vegan Fest 2025. See you there.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where
About 15 seconds.
All right. We got to do what's worse. It's a good one today. And no time. That's the problem. I don't have time to worry about time. Unabashed and not afraid to tell a joke. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Glad to have you along on a Monday, September 22nd, 2025, 22 past the hour of 3 o'clock. The word to score the gold and $200 cash and a chance to win the grand prize of those great seats to the Green Bay Minnesota football. It's impossible to do this and not have a couple of just give me a mulligan, all right? Just give me tell the attorneys on 12th floor to relax.
This contest is not associated with their organizations. There, we're good.
Yes, perfect. The word is SCORE, SCORE, SCORE. Text the word SCORE right now. Those professional football tickets for Green Bay and Minnesota and the chance to win the $200 cash and gold jewelry. All right? All right. Got to do this quick. Bottom of the hour. Do not go anywhere. Our great friends Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone Berry from the producers of Just a Bit Outside the Movie are going to be here and announce their brand new film called, I can say this, right? No Packers, No Life, which is completely different than the other thing we were just talking about. Unrelated. All right, time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you
Time
can
once
get with
again
that.
for What's Worse. On this portion, no prize money giveaway, nothing prizes involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard across the entire state of Wisconsin. Rough Badger game. As Mike Clemens reported, Bucky lost to the Terps of Maryland at home, 27-10. At one point, many of the students were chanting "Fire Fickle." Today's What's Worse. Timely indeed, as Mike Lucas says. Badger football in 2025 or Badger football in 1989? What's worse, Badger football in 2025 or Badger football in 1989? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. You can also text us, but we're doing this contest at the same time, so might be easier to call. 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. What's worse, Badger football in 2025 or Badger football in 1989?
So we're all aware of Badger football in 2025, how Luke Fickell, with his famous air raid offense, ends up being nothing
It was former
burger.
offensive coordinator's offense, yeah.
Oh,
We
gotcha.
got rid of him, and
Well-
now we got Grimy. We got Grimy with the new offense, which the offense is slightly better.
It is improved. Either way, Luke Fickell's Badgers have to clean up a common phrase for radio, crapped the bed repeatedly.
Yeah. So
can you illuminate the 1989 Badgers
for
for
you
us?
youngins out there, including Mr. Zommers, who are not alive yet?
Correct.
The head coach of Badger football in 1989, Don Morton, who Dave McClain, great guy, good football coach, got the Badgers to a bowl game, did the best he could, died suddenly and tragically of a heart attack. And they brought in Don Morton for the new era of the Badgers. Brought in something called the Veer offense. And it was pitiful, terrible. The Badgers tanked. And that's when Donna Shalala became the University of Wisconsin-Madison chancellor, hired Pat Richter away from Oscar Mayer. He was the CEO there, former Badger football player and alum, to be the athletic director. And they went and hired the defensive coordinator at Notre Dame away from Lou Holtz after winning the national championship, a guy by the name of Barry Alvarez, who, of course, completely changed the program. So what's worse, Badger football in 2025 or Badger football in 1989? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Jerry Perry, our friend Jeff Perry on the old Facebook line says, I believe he was heir to the Morton salt fortune. Don Morton, yes. Thank you, right, Jeff. PJ on YouTube says, I said from the first day that Fickell was not a good choice. So Badger football in 2025 is worse. Look, there's all kinds of stories. We'll pick up on them throughout the week. Not going to have time to do them all today. But Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter, put me onto this one in SI. Headline, Wisconsin Badgers AD seen with ex-Packers Cowboys coach after endorsing Luke Fickell. Chris McIntosh met with the former Super Bowl champion NFL head coach the day after the Wisconsin Badgers lost to Maryland. Again, to speed up the story, McCarthy, of course, won a Super Bowl with Green Bay, went on to coach the Cowboys, got fired last year, parted ways with Jerry Jones. He still lives in Wisconsin. He has a house somewhere in the greater Green Bay area, and his family lives here. Now, there are reports that his daughter might want to come to Wisconsin to play volleyball. Maybe that's why they were there together. But boy, if I'm Luke Fickell and my boss is sitting in a suite the next day with a guy who's won a Super Bowl, who lives in Wisconsin and is currently unemployed, I'm not sure whether that's settling or not.
I'm sweating. If that's...
I'm sweating. Other stories out over the weekend. Great piece in Badger Wire. Headline of Wisconsin decides to move on from Luke Fickell, who could the target be for the next coach. And in the Journal Sentinel, Wisconsin AD Chris McIntosh weighs in on Luke Fickell after fans chant for the football coach's ouster. Fick's in trouble. I'm just going to say it. I mean, I only half jokingly said at the start of the season that he would not make it through the end of the year and Alvarez would coach at Minnesota for the Axe as an interim. It's looking, unfortunately, like a pretty good prediction. Zombers, what's worse?
I'm going to say 2025 just because of the way social media amplifies everything and because of this info from Clemens about the meeting with McCarthy.
I'm going to say Badger football in 2025 is worse because in 89, we had no expectations. We were, the bar was so low. But Luke Fickell, I'm sorry, I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's had going on 3 years, and the fundamentals aren't getting any better. It goes beyond wins and losses. We will talk about wins and losses at Green Bay, a new film called No Packers, No Life. We're going to discuss it with filmmakers Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone-Berry after this. Don't go anywhere. It's the Allbaugh Show.
X Madison, where the cheese is sharp and the vibes are chill.
Farm news that impacts you and your community from the Midwest Farm.
Paul, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am well. I am so excited and so filled with gratitude that you guys are coming on the show today.
I can't wait.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Please make sure I get it correct. Pronounce your last name, please.
I think you just did it right. I think I just heard you, and I was like, "Hey, that's the best anyone's ever done." Giacone-Berry.
All right. Thanks to my fine producer, Mr. Zommers. He keeps me on the straight and narrows. All right, we were saying it correctly. All right, thank you.
Yes, ancient beer makers in my lineage. So.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Roots in Germany or where?
Switzerland, actually. Bern.
Switzerland.
The Bern area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm a big just looking at family history and the like, and so I just love stories like that.
Yeah, it's quite something. I went years ago. I went to Bern, Switzerland, and I looked in the phone book for the Beeries. That's the Swiss part of my family, and it was like 20 pages of Beeries.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
By the way, do you have a song request for the way in? Maybe something that's used in the movie or...
Oh man, that's a good question.
We have a few minutes to think about.
Yeah, let me see if I can grab a song from our director's band. Hang on one second.
Oh, are you okay if we show the trailer?
I'd love it.
All right, cool. We'll get to that then. Are you guys good for the whole half hour? Or?
Yes.
All right, awesome, cool.
Let me just ping in Craig. All right, let's see if I can get an MP3 from him, and I'll shoot it your way.
While you're waiting, because I think that we are on the email, but not Aaron. I'm gonna send you. Here's 1 second.
Down 14.5 cents at 10.11. December wheat is down 11 3/4 at 5.10 3/4. Class 3 milk isn't looking much better, with October contracts down 31 cents at 16.87 a hundredweight, and November contracts down 35 cents at 16.37 a hundredweight. 40-pound blocks are down 4 at 161, and double.
All right, Paul. I just replied and put Zommers. I'm not sure it was to.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, the email that said "No Packers, No Life" movie release. I just put Zommers' email on that.
Wonderful.
Showers and thunderstorms on and off today. Heavy at times. We could get some heavy rainfall and localized flash flooding. Also, high winds and small hail isn't out of the question.
I love every aspect about this movie.
I mean, you can see why when we saw it, we're like, oh,
right?
We got to get this out in the world, you guys.
I called the wife.
That's so cool.
My daughter was like, I don't know, 7 years old. I said, hey, I'm calling about
There he is.
Hey, Todd.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? Sorry to keep the tension high.
You're fine. We're chill.
Good.
Very quickly. How did your other project go on Saturday? Were you able to get it done?
We actually were. The athletic department folks were really helpful. So we got on the field a couple minutes earlier than we thought, which was like cool. a game changer. But it went great. The footage is unbelievable.
Did you get any of the fire Fickle?
30 seconds.
We had already left the building by then.
Okay. We were talking about that in the last segment. All right, here we go.
Packers go, go. Go, you Packers go, go. This year, yeah, they're on a roll. Go, you Packers go, go. When the pack is rocking, we'll be rolling. Go, you Packers go, go.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. 35 minutes now past the hour of 3 o'clock on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Wisconsin's, I would say, the Brewers, but you got some nasty Twins fans up there in northwest Wisconsin. You got some salty Cubs fans in southern Wisconsin. But overall, I guess you got a few of those horned people over Minnesota. But overall, what's more of a Wisconsin team than Green Bay Packers? We're going to talk about that next. But let me clearly, for the lawyers on the 12th floor, separate and remind you, completely separate from what we're going to talk about right now, we have the Civic Media Green and Gold Text to Win contest. You can win $200 cash prize and gold jewelry and 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota and a home game in Green Bay on November 23rd at high noon. Text the word SCORE right now on the Civic Media app. SCORE. SCORE is the word to text. You have until 4 o'clock to do it to win that cash and gold and be eligible for the grand prize at a football game of a professional team that has their headquarters in Green Bay. It is a multi-state contest. Now, completely separate from that discussion, let's talk about the Packers. Joining us, our old friends via StreamYard from the movie Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. That's a whole nother bottle of Miller High Life. Sean Hanish and Paul Giacone Beery of the new film, No Packers, No Life. Guys, how you doing?
Doing great, Todd. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Really excited to be here.
Well, I happened to see Sean happened to be in town for another project, and he was so kind by threat of verbal NDA, and I'll never speak to you again. He showed me a little clip of the film, and I was instantly in love. And tell us, guys, how did you come to find this film?
Well, Todd, we obviously, we had this amazing success last fall with Just a Bit Outside. Thanks to you, your listeners, and all the fans around the state of Wisconsin. That film did really, really well in theaters. And so we were doing an encore screening of it in Madison at the Wisconsin Film Festival this spring. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I saw in the program a movie called No Packers, No Life. And I was like, well, that sounds about the Japanese Packers fans. And I was like, well, that sounds interesting. So I went to see it. And it was a sold-out show there at the Barrymore in Madison, and it was raucous. People loved this movie. So what we did is, I showed it. I got a link to share with our team, including Paul, and we all thought it was such a joyful expression of what it means to be a Green Bay Packers fan that, we can get into the story in a minute, but we were like, maybe we can do the same thing with Just a Bit Out, or with No Packers No Life that we did with Just a Bit Outside. And fortunately, our good friends at Marcus Theaters agreed, and they are they're opening No Packers No Life, this wonderful, joyful documentary about the Japanese Packers cheering squad, on October 17th statewide, which is amazing.
I can't wait. And Paul, tell us a little bit about the premise of this story. Because when I first Packers cheerleaders, like there's a group of young people in skirts and pom-poms. No. Tell us where this came from, Paul.
Absolutely. So Ty Morse, who is a businessman over there in Wisconsin, he does a lot of business in East Asia, and he was walking through Shibuya, which is the big intersection in Tokyo, and happened to see a Japanese person walk by wearing a Packers jersey. And was like, what's going on here? So he very quietly said, "Go Pack, go." And the guy turned around and said, "Go Pack, go!" And then he said, "Go Pack, go!" And then he said, "Go Pack, go!" So then this guy said, "Hey, come here. I want to show you something." Takes him up through these alleys and into a karaoke bar upstairs in the middle of this huge building. And there is the Japanese Packers cheering squad. So it's 4 Japanese people who, for various reasons, have become super fans of the Green Bay Packers. And they show up at 2 a.m. on a Monday morning because of the time difference and watch games and cheer on their favorite team. And so Ty said, this is so incredible. I have to bring them to Green Bay to watch a game. So this film follows that entire story. And it's really, Sean put it best. It's joyful, and it is such a celebration of how the things we love, in this case, the team that we love, the Green Bay Packers, brings people together from across the world. So it is laughs and smiles from beginning to end. And we could not be more excited to be sharing this with the statewide in Wisconsin, thanks to our friends at Marcus Theater. So we're just thrilled.
And you nailed it, I think, Paul. I know, Sean, you and I talked about this. It's a crazy world out there right now. And there's so much divisiveness out there. And boy, anything that can bring us together as Wisconsinites, as Americans, I'm all for. And by the way, Zommers, keep me honest. I talked to you after I talked to Sean. Did I say anything about our conversation that would give anything away?
You said the Wisconsin sports film. Sorry, I can't say more yet. No.
So I kept my word. So now
that's impressive, Todd. Thank you.
Because I was excited, as Sean knows. But now it's okay. We can show the trailer, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
Please do.
So here, from Sean Hanisch and Paul Giacone-Berry, is a trailer for No Packers, No Life.
We're wandering Tokyo, and I see a guy with a Packers jersey on. And I'm like, no way. I just quietly say, "Go Pack, go." And he shouts back, "Go Pack, go!" The Japanese Packer cheering team.
Packers #1.
I love Packers. No Packers, no right. Insanely passionate to a degree which probably most people from Wisconsin aren't.
Wisconsin!
I said, you guys are welcome to come to a Packer game anytime.
I couldn't believe that. Why? And who are you? The Green Bay way is to host, and we say, okay, come with us. We'll show you a good time.
We want them to experience the Green Bay way.
This is Green Bay!
Wisconsin is human. The one team in the NFL that's owned by the people.
It gives people a connection that no other team offers.
No Packers, no life.
No Packers, no life. Only at Marcus Theaters on October 17th. We have the filmmakers joining us live via StreamYard. The great Sean Hanisch and the great Paul Giacone-Berry. Guys, just like with the bit outside, when Sean showed it to me on Friday, and now I'm seeing it just does something to you as Wisconsinites, Sean.
Well, I think it does because, as Wisconsinites, we kind of, on our sleeve is our heart is on our sleeve, and we say, please come visit us. We're a lot of fun. And so, I love what they say, and it's in the trailer there. All of Ty and his friends, Jada Merritt and Brandon, were like, we want to show them the Green Bay way, which is essentially the Wisconsin hospitality. And I mean, a lot of these people who are born and raised in Tokyo had never been to the States before. And imagine their first stop is Green Bay, Wisconsin. And they get immersed in this community with these wonderful people, both wonderful visitors and wonderful hosts, and that they shared a lot more in common than you would imagine. I mean, they compared Green Bay to one of the tourist kind of like vacation destinations outside of Tokyo. So there was a real around being a fan of the Green Bay Packers. True lifelong friendships developed. And I think you find that whenever you go anywhere outside of Wisconsin. Certainly here in Los Angeles, or when I've been in France, in Paris, I've been to Woe's Bar. Every city around the world seems to have a Packer bar and have a Packer following. So this is kind of like just dipping our toe into what it's like in Tokyo for these folks, and really what they, in a way, it holds a mirror up to us as Wisconsinites and as Packer fans, and kind of shows us, what we have is really special with the Packers, and people around the world appreciate it.
And time now for my obligatory plug for the great underground sports pub in Hermosa Beach, owned by our friend Kelly Call. When you're in the greater Los Angeles area and you want to take in a Packer game, make sure you go to the underground pub in Hermosa Beach. I've been there. The steak sandwich is fantastic.
And it is. You're right. It's the best Packer bar in Los Angeles.
It is. It really is. Paul, talk to it. You guys probably know me. Packers had a rough game. It's been a rough day for Packer fans in Wisconsin today. Just a weird game, losing 13-10 yesterday, the Browns. But Zalmer and I were talking before the show, and Paul, talk a little bit about this. I think, and I've always seen the trailer, but to me, anytime that we can see something that we might take for granted through the lens of someone else, it makes you appreciate what this team means to the state.
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there for me. Before we made Just a Bit Outside, I had never set foot in Wisconsin. And the welcome that I received over the course of making that film, I mean, subsequently, I've been to Wisconsin more than anywhere else in the country. And the welcome and the hospitality and just the joy and heart of the people of Wisconsin has stuck with me, right? And so when we saw this film that is really about that, I feel like an adoptive son of Wisconsin now. Like I'm going to put that on my driver's license, adopted by Wisconsin,
of course,
because it is just such a welcoming, warm place filled with joy, and you have so many great things there, and people don't necessarily recognize it until they really come and see what the state has to offer. I mean, yes, Green Bay Packers, everyone knows the Green Bay Packers, but not until you actually go to Lambeau, not until you actually experience it in person, as I did just earlier this year for the first time, did it click for me. And it really is. This movie is such a love letter to the Wisconsin way. It is such a love letter to the people of Wisconsin. And I am beyond delighted to be able to share this with the people of Wisconsin, so they can, as Sean said, a mirror reflected back to them. They can see just how important and how special of a place they live in. So there you
Sean,
go.
about a minute and a half before the first break here, but talk to us in the minute and a half here up to that a little bit about how, again, you guys kind of took your experience from Just a Bit Outside, and is it fair to say maybe cleaned up and sweetened some of the visuals and some of the sound to kind of get it ready for greater distribution from the original? Is that fair to say or not?
Oh, I think it's fair to say we took what we learned, yes, from Just a Bit Outside, both the marketing and distribution, but also in, just the storytelling arena of like, what do people expect when they go to the theater? And, we shared that with the filmmakers, Craig Benzine, the director, and Ty Morse, the producer, and they were incredibly amenable. In fact, they had been watching Just a Bit Outside and had seen the film, and were like, we kind of want to do what those guys did. And, through an incredible stroke of luck, we met them back there at the Wisconsin Film Festival. And that's the path they're following. I mean, listen, the film it's 90 minutes of pure joy. And it's worth, just like Just a Bit Outside was worth wearing your jersey to, wear your Packer jersey, come early, have a couple of beers, tailgate, and get ready for an incredible joyride. Because that's what the movie is.
It is in Marcus Theaters starting on October 17th. We'll come back and talk more about this great film, No Packers, No Life, with Sean Hannish and Paul Giacone-Berry after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I think it's time, Terry, that the Lombardi Trophy goes home to Lambeau Field where it belongs.
See, I just feel better when I talk to you guys. Sorry, what?
I would say, Todd, we've been hiding Paul under a bushel. It's time to break him out.
Right?
By the way, I got the email with the song. We'll start this next segment with a song by Craig Benzine, the director's band.
Oh, okay, very good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for making that happen.
Somers
on
for the
such short
win.
notice.
He's the best. Fortunate to have him. See, so we're running this contest, and I have like all of these things with the lawyers. Like, so we're not allowed. Here, I did this. You have to play them the thing. So that we made a promo out of this because this was real. Well, this what happened last year, and so Zomer sends me like on our internal chat live on the air. You can't say this. Like, remember, you can't say this. So we start the thing, and we made a promo out of it. I'll let you listen.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm finding it. Just a second.
Because Todd's not smart enough to realize things on the air.
Okay, there it is. I forgot what I named it. So there we go.
Never to play again. Here we go.
The Todd Allbaugh Show.
There is a brand new text to win contest. It involves Packer tickets and really, we can't say that. We are legally not allowed to say the following when promoting this contest. Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints or Saints.
Well, now you just said all of them.
Just disregard everything I said.
The Todd Allbaugh Show. Weekdays.
That wasn't a setup. That wasn't a bit. That's actually what because he sends it and he's like, remember, you can't. And I just read it over the air when he sent me.
I was like, oh no.
Well done.
Oh, that's comedy gold. I love it.
Isn't that the big plot point in Anchorman?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm a natural Ron Burgundy. That's about
Ron
the level
Burgundy
of anchor
Todd,
I am. Yeah.
Oh.
So I have to give the word out first, but then we'll finish up the interview. We'll have about 6 minutes left.
Okay.
Lovely.
I then made a censored version of it to see if we could air that, but it's basically half beeps. So
right, he beeped out everything.
Live on air.
All right, about 25 seconds.
All right, thank you. Network, 8 minutes now before the hour of 4 o'clock, top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, followed by check of weather, sports, or the great sports reporter who brings us all the great Packer news from Lambeau Field. Mike Clemens will be along, and then another edition of the Maggie Dawn Show from 4 until 6, and Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, who I know Sean has been on that program before, and great program from 6 until 8 with Pete Schwaba. All right, completely separate from this interview. Let me remind you, we are finishing up this hour's edition of Civic Media's Green and Gold Text to Win contest. Up for grabs, $200 cash and gold jewelry. And everyone gets entered in for the grand prize. 2 club-level indoor seats to Green Bay versus Minnesota football, a Green Bay home game, November 23rd at 12 noon. It includes a gas card. It's over a $1,500 value. The way you enter, go to the Civic Media app and text the word SCORE, SCORE, SCORE. Text it right now. It is a multi-state contest. Text the word SCORE right now. Zommers, how'd I do?
We're good. We're good.
We made it through one segment without Todd messing up. You need to also score yourself some tickets to a brand new movie called No Packers, No Life. It debuts in Marcus Theaters throughout Wisconsin on October 17th. And here to joining us are filmmakers Sean Hannish and Paul Giacone Beery live from Los Angeles, California via StreamYard. Paul, talk a little bit more about this film in the context of distribution. It's going to be in Marcus Theaters, we know, and how can people get tickets? Because that's the first thing people are going to start texting and asking me, Todd, I want to go. How am I going to get there?
Absolutely. So, first of all, we are going to have a VIP premiere of the film at the Marcus Majestic in Waukesha. Tickets for that are available now at nopackersnolife.com. That's nopackersnolife.com. There's a link right there that'll take you to buy tickets to that VIP premiere. We're going to have some celebrities, members of the Japanese Packers cheering squad will be there, along with, of course, the filmmakers. And we're going to have some surprises down the road. We'll be making some announcements about some other folks who are going to be joining us. So keep your ears and eyes peeled. But it's going to be a great night. Recommend getting tickets early to that. And then for everyone else, as we say, the film opens October 17th, Marcus Theaters. Tickets go on sale October 3rd. So those will be available at the Marcus Theaters website or at any of the box offices starting October 3rd. But we want to get the word out early and encourage everybody. As soon as tickets become available, please go out and get them. But tickets are available now for the premiere. So get them while they're hot.
It's fantastic. I can't wait. I could talk to you guys for an hour easy and have a beer. I mean, it's just, you're so easy to talk to. It's so fun. Sadly, we got about 4 minutes left here or so. Sean, I'll let you take it wherever you want to go and talk about what you think people across this state really need to hear about this film.
Well, I think the thing is, we're really, really proud to be Packer fans here as Wisconsinites. And I think, anytime, we're at a game and somebody comes to visit, right, from, New Orleans, a Saints fan or a Rams fan or, somebody like that, a Broncos fan, we roll out the red carpet for them. We really do. And we're like the nicest fan base, that exists. So I think this movie is about that, but in the extreme. And so far as you have these people that are, they're a world apart. Literally, they're on the other side of the world in one of the world's largest cities. And they are almost more fanatical than any Green Bay Packer fan that I've ever met. That's how much they love this team. And so there's that tells you the magic of the Green Bay Packers, that they, they're people love them around the world. Why? It's because it's community owned. It's because it's in a city of 100,000. It's because, the whole state and the whole region, frankly, the whole country embraces them. There's a mystique and a charm about Green Bay. And it's so fun through this story to really, I think those of us who are fans still kind of take it for granted.
Paul,
I think we do a little bit.
Paul, what have I not asked you about this film yet you want people to know?
Oh boy. That's a really good question. I wish I was prepared for that. No, I think.
What does it mean to you? What does the film mean to you?
The film means to me, I think you actually said it best. This is a film that I think we all need right now. It is such a breath of fresh air to spend 90 minutes with people who come together over the team that they love, and they bridge language and culture and time zone and everything else. And I tell you, every time I watch it, and I've watched it a bunch of times now, I feel my shoulders ease. I feel I feel full with, what fandom can do and how special of a place you guys have to call home. So, it's just all joy and all love.
I said earlier this show, another story. In college, I had an opportunity to be around a lot of students from Central America. And I learned more about myself through them than I think they got out of the education here. And I get the sense that I'm going to do the same thing as a Packers fan. I'm going to learn more about living in Wisconsin and being a Packers fan and appreciating that more, watching it through people who are seeing it for the first time.
I totally agree. We're giddy. I was so giddy about showing, just a bit outside to the folks around the state of Wisconsin. I'm just as giddy, if not more so, because I think people are going to love this movie.
Go to nopackersnolife.com. That's nopackersnolife.com. Zamers has it on the screen, the Chiron. We'll put it up on our show notes. We'll put it in our socials as well. It debuts on October 17th in Marcus Theaters across the state. Tickets on sale on October 3rd. No time, guys. Well, 20 seconds. How about them Brewers? Back to back to back.
Woo!
Let's go!
That celebration was great. All
Let's do
right,
it.
Brewers, Packers, Paul Giacone Berry, and Sean Hannish have it covered all the time. Guys, thanks for your time. Really appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Todd.
All right.
Okay.
Always a pleasure. Stay tuned. Maggie Dawn is next. Todd saying, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up, especially if you're a Brewer and Packers fan. Keep banging your drum. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Pack, go.
All right, guys, we're clear. Thank you so much.
Thanks.